So what we're going to do is we're just going to quickly touch on 5 things about Calendly that you may or may not know about, but ones that I really suggest you do use. Now, just so you are aware, I have a paid version of Calendly. So some of these things may not be available on the free plan. However, for what you can do with Calendly, I do actually recommend being on the paid plan. So the first one we're going to look at is with the event types. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask them. I do have the Facebook chat up and running as well. There is just a little bit of a delay, so I might not see them while I'm sort of rabbiting on. The first one you've got an option to be able to create a one-on-one event or to be able to take group bookings. Now, it's the group bookings that a lot of people don't really know sort of how they can manage it and how they can utilize it. Just to give you some examples, I've had clients I've got a lady who runs a registered training organization. She actually uses Calendly to take bookings into her first aid classes. So it's really simple to be able to do. You can just click on create event, give it a name, etc., instructions, and then you can set how many people can make a booking into that. So you can set your maximum class numbers. Really helpful for people who are doing, dance classes or anything where, you might be wanting to go live on Zoom and have that class, or you might, it might be a face-to-face class once we're allowed to do that stuff again, of course. But it's really cool that you can sort of get multiple people to register into the one event. So it's not just the one-on-one, I guess, kind of interaction that most people know booking software is capable of doing. So if you don't have other software that can go ahead and do this for you, Calendly is a great way to be able to quickly and easily set up group bookings. Personal trainers who are doing boot camps or any kind of classes, really. This stuff works really well for that. You could even do a webinar booking through this. If you were wanting to not set it up directly through Zoom, but still have the Zoom link, so this would still all work correctly, you can use Calendly to set it all up that way as well. So that is number 1. Number 2 is what Calendly calls buffers. So I'm just going to go back into my setup page so I can show this to you. It's going to ask me all kinds of questions now. Okay, so I've created a bit of a test account here so we can just kind of run through some of this stuff. So Calendly's gone through an update recently. I don't know if it's quite yet rolled out to everybody. So if you don't see it like this, it may be hidden in a little spot. So we'll talk about that in a minute too. But under the when can people book this event, obviously you've got your schedule here. Make the most of being able to have a schedule and being able to actually control when people can book this stuff. But we've got buffers. Now, what buffers do is when somebody goes to make an appointment for you, Calendly is going to look at your calendar. Definitely integrate this stuff with your calendar. It's going to look at your calendar and it's going to work out, okay, this meeting is for 30 minutes. It's going to look for a 30-minute appointment, like a free time within your calendar. What a buffer does is it allows you to kind of extend that out. So for example, you might need 15, 20 minutes before an event to be able to prep for it. And then you might need 15, 20 minutes after the event to do some, admin stuff. So when you put these buffers in, so say we do 15 minutes before and 15 minutes after, when Calendly goes to check to see when you're available, it's actually going to be looking for a 1-hour time slot. 30 minutes to be able to do the actual meeting itself, but then enough time to give you 15 minutes before and 15 minutes afterwards as well. Now, something that's really cool that I do myself, I've got Calendly hooked up to Zapier, obviously, and I actually have a Zap now that's automatically booking in this admin time before and after for me as well. So it's kind of, even though Calendly knows the space is there, for me to know and be able to be reminded to do this stuff, these events are now appearing automatically in my calendar too. So that is number 2. Definitely make the most of buffers. Number 3 is all of these are reminders that you have. So if we go down to notifications and cancellation policies, cancel out of this one. You need to come in here and spend some time editing this stuff. Now, what I suggest you do is create one event that you set up perfectly. And then every time you create a different kind of type or a different meeting event, that you just clone it. So you don't have to spend time sort of rejigging this every single time. Now, I personally, on all of my events, I actually have email confirmations. The reason why is when you send calendar invitations, you start to send multiple copies of things. So first of all, your meeting person who's joining you will get the email to confirm that they're attending, and then they'll also get another one to actually invite them to the meeting, and you'll also get an invite to join the meeting as well. So that it's just a bit glitchy when it comes to that side of things. So I personally love the email confirmations. Make sure you come in here and hit the personalize button. So anything that is in these little, squiggly little bracket lines is pulling data from the actual booking itself. So you need to change these and customize it to how you want to read it. Like, I don't want someone to get an email that says confirmed, let's chat 30 minutes Zoom with Pip Meacham on whatever. So I actually tend to completely customize these email subject lines. And also Calendly defaults to hi full name. So if this was to go to someone, it would actually say hi Pip Meacham. So I booked in to see myself, it would say hi Pip Meacham. So you need to come in and change it. The way to do it is obviously you need to take this bit out, but this little down arrow here, this is where all of your fields are. So depending on what questions you're asking when somebody's making the appointment, you can use that information in these reminders. So for a first name, you would just click on invitee first name. Now, Calendly does suck a little bit with the way that you can format these reminder emails. They're all based on plain text. It's really hard to get all of this spacing stuff to work as well. So just keep an eye and sort of read it and make sure it all makes sense if there's no sort of line breaks. And the other one is make sure you take this stuff out. People don't need to know what the answers are to the questions that they've written. If you want to include it, feel free by all means. But make sure you do this to make it read right. A location, if it's a Zoom meeting, it's going to dump all that Zoom information straight into it. Hence why at the moment Calendly is well worth paying for, so that you don't have to then go and create a separate Zoom meeting and send the invitation through. You can actually get Calendly to do it all in the one go. This event description, just customize this so it reads nicely, that it's welcoming, that it gives the person, I was talking about customer experiences this morning, it gives them a nice experience and it gives them the information that they need to know. And also you'll notice that there's no like kind regards or thank you or sign off on the bottom of these. So I always add, in here, my name. I also add in my email address, even though it's going to be coming from me, and a phone number. So who can they contact if something goes wrong? Make it easy for people to be able to find this information. So completely, up to you what you want this email to say, but definitely spend the time, especially replacing the full name with just their first name and updating the content to read it how you want to read it. Michelle, the email notification is different for each appointment type. Yes, you can customize this stuff for every single different event type that you have. So obviously the way I talk to someone about a G Suite setup would be completely different to someone who is booking in a Let's Chat directly from Google My Business or my website. So the G Suite one would be probably a little bit more information and some stuff like some steps that they would need to think about before they come to that meeting, rather than me specifically just sending them a meeting invite and then bombarding them with all the information that I need that they haven't had a chance to think about. So you can completely customize these. Also, go through and do all of these. So don't just do this first one that is the initial confirmation, go through and do the other ones as well. So, if someone cancels, what do you want it to say? I would be trying to get in here and fix up how they spell cancelled, because that's not correct for how we spell it, but also, encourage them to rebook. Give them another link so that when they're ready, that they've got the link straight there that they can rebook directly in with you. The same with the reminders, turn this stuff on. One of the advantages of using Calendly is to have these reminders that go out prior to your event. So, all you need to do is click the on button and then personalize it just like you would with the initial confirmation. So, make sure you're changing all of this stuff and talk about it like it's a reminder email. You can then choose how soon it gets sent out. Okay, this is a really big one. And you can have a couple. So you might have one that goes out a week before the event, depending on how far in advance you're booking. And you might have the exact same one go again 24 hours beforehand. Completely up to you. You have your own processes. Just make the most of the fact that you can actually do this stuff. You can also send on the paid plans. I don't think this is available on the free ones, but you can send people follow-ups. So as soon as your meeting is over, you can send them an email and go, hey, you know, it was great to speak to you. Thank you, blah, blah, blah. And you can put in links to leave you reviews or links to go to your website or look at specific things as well. And this all happens automatically. So you just tell it when it needs to send the email, and it just goes from there. And the same with text reminders. I love Calendly for the fact that it sends text reminders. Again, you just need to personalize it to make sure that it reads correctly. And now remember, you are also limited to 160 characters on these text reminders. So think about it back in the old days when we were doing, you know, the old school text messaging where you got charged 20 cents a text message. It's like that. So you can only send 160. So just make sure it reads correctly, like shorten it as much as possible, but give them as much information. Make sure it includes your name or your business name so that they know who that text message has come from, because it will come from a funny kind of number. So that is the reminders. Definitely take the time to do it. Like I said, my big tip is to set up, if you are new to Calendly, set up one event exactly how you want it. And then all you have to do each time is just customize it depending on the type of event that you're running. The next one, so we've done the one-to-one or groups, we've done buffers, we've done reminders. The next one, which is really cool, sits down under this confirmation page. Now on the free plan, you can only display the Calendly confirmation page, but what you can do is add in these custom links. So you can add in as many as you like as well. You know, you might want to put in here, click here to find out more and put your website. Click here to follow me on Facebook and put the link to your Facebook page, so that people kind of have a little bit of a call to action for once they've booked that meeting. You know, where can you redirect them to? On the paid plan though, and this is one of the reasons why I really love Calendly, you can redirect to an external site. So for example, say somebody books in a G Suite setup with me, the redirect URL automatically takes them to a questionnaire that I need them to complete prior to us having that meeting. You might also, you know, my ones where, for example, I have my Let's Chat where it's like a quick 15-minute chat. It goes through to a landing page. And let me just see if I can find this for you and show you exactly what it looks like. So whenever someone books in like a quick chat with me, they get redirected to this page. So instead of seeing the boring, you know, Calendly thank you, I've tried to personalize it a little bit more. And, you know, there's a picture of me and a bit of branding and stuff like that, because the plain Calendly thank you page it's just not that exciting, even though you can add in those extra links. You know, being able to redirect to external sites is really, really powerful, because you can take them on all kinds of journeys pretty much. So that is the page redirection. Absolutely love it. I would pay for Calendly just based on that, because it helps to streamline some of my workflows and things that need to happen after someone has booked in that event. The next big one is the Google Chrome Calendly extension is something that you have to get, okay? When you install it and download it, and I will put the link into underneath the live video once this is finished, but from here, there's a couple of ways this works. So one is I can grab any link for any of these meetings straight away and say copy it. So for example, you know, if someone wanted to have a chat to me, I'll just pop it in here. And then, you know, you've got that link straight away. There's other things that you can do though that are really cool. So you can actually come in here, and if you're typing an email to somebody, you can come in here and pick, you know, a bunch of times. So say I wanted to offer somebody Monday and Thursday only. If I click finish and share, and I'm just going to paste this into a Google Doc so you can see how it looks. But if you were to paste this into an email, rather than sending them, you know, just the link to book in with you, you can actually send them some pre-structured things so they can automatically see what times you are available on those days. The other thing I really like about this extension, and if somebody's got a Calendly link that they would like to pop in the comments, I can show you how this works more. But when somebody sends me a Calendly link, because I have it and I've got this extension installed and I'm all logged in, it actually shows me on that person's calendar when I'm free as well. So the worst thing is when someone sends you a Calendly invite and you have to go and sort of check your own calendar to work out when you're free versus when they're free, et cetera, et cetera. With this little extension and with the whole Calendly thing and the way it's working, is it actually will automatically tell me when I'm available to have that appointment as well, which is a really cool little tip. I don't know if I've got somebody else's one that I can pick. Here we go. Let's just use this one. So this is a first aid one. So say, for example, I picked Friday. It's automatically looking at my schedule to say, hey, I'm free on this day. If there was a conflict, so if I suddenly book in I'm just going to book in a appointment for that day and time. So we're Friday, June 5th. If I just block out this day, and you'll see it, and we reload this page, whoops, it's now going to say there's now a conflict, and that little green dot to say that I'm available is not there. So basically I can't book in a meeting time on that day. So I really love it for that as well. So I love people who use Calendly themselves because it actually helps streamline my own processes as well. Now, does anybody have any questions around Calendly? That is my top 5. So one-to-one or groups, being able to take group bookings is really powerful for the people who do things via groups. The next one was buffers, so making sure you're adding in time before and after to allow you to do any kind of work or prep or follow-up that you need to do after that. Number 3 was going through and editing all those reminders and customizing them and using it to be able to give any extra information or anything that you need to do. You can put in links and hyperlink stuff in there as well. So if you've got videos that you want people to watch, you could put in a hyperlink, say, click here to watch this prior to our meeting, and send them like a video. Number 4 was page redirection and making sure that you are using those and adding in, if you're not on a paid plan, at least add in those extra buttons to say, hey, come find me on Facebook or follow me on Instagram or look at this page on the website, whatever you want to do. Just make the most of the fact that that tool is there available for you. And then the last one was getting installed that Calendly extension, because it really is just a cool little thing to help streamline things at your end. The group booking was that one person can book for their group or multiple people can book. Multiple people can book for the same session. So say you're holding a boot camp, you can have multiple people book into, think of it like a class. So multiple people can book in up to the limit that you set when you are creating that event. So say you only want to take 10 people in a class, you would just put 10, and as soon as the 10th person registers, you can stop that. Now, something else we haven't talked about, and it's another little one, is Calendly can take payments. So if you are like a personal trainer or someone who is wanting to take group bookings, you can set it up so that when they book in, it takes payment at that time. And then obviously you've got all the benefits of having the reminders and all of that kind of stuff as well. So it does integrate with Stripe and PayPal, I think, which works really well if you're not using sort of any other kind of payment processing stuff and you just want an easy way to be able to take payments. Can I have you for a month? Thank you. It would be interesting. I don't know if you'd want me for a month. Can you check across my business and personal Google Calendar to see when I'm free? You can integrate it with your calendars. It would depend on how you've got your Google Calendars set up as well. You just have to check the calendar settings as to how that all works. Otherwise, you can automatically, if it doesn't work, you can automatically have, say, like an automation that sits in the back end. So every time you book a meeting in your personal calendar, that it flows across into the business one, so it's blocking it out. I personally just color code my calendar. If I give you a really quick sneak peek into my calendar, and you might have a bit of a giggle about this, but this is my calendar. I'm going to show you next week. So I have my daughter, I co-parent my daughter. Anything that's in orange is related to my personal life or related to my daughter. Anything in green is generally business related. So if we look last week, you can see here I've got a mix of orange and green stuff. Orange is everything to do with my family. Green is everything to do with project logs. And that works really well for me being able to do that. So yeah, there's really is a bunch of super cool stuff that you can do with this. It's not just a way for people to be able to book in a time to have a phone call with you. If anyone else has any questions, I'm going to jump off the live, but feel free to keep popping them in the chat and I'll keep checking back and answering those for you as well. So thank you so much, Michelle, for having me on. I'm Pip, Project Box is my business, and I look forward to sort of seeing how you all get on with this stuff as well. I'll speak to you soon. Bye.